Good afternoon. The sari, a timeless symbol of our heritage, weaves stories of tradition, craftsmanship, and elegance. Today, as we gather to celebrate World Saree Day, we honor not just a garment, but an art form that connects us to our roots, our culture, and our identity. Namaste. On behalf of our chairperson Priya Gazdar and her committee, I, Sujita Chityala, Honorary Secretary of Flow Hyderabad, extend a heartfelt welcome to this special celebration of the sari and the artisans behind its creation. We are privileged to have with us today Mr. Sanjay Garg, the visionary founder of Raw Mango, who has redefined contemporary sari design while honoring the timelessness of Indian weaves. We also extend a warm welcome to our esteemed past chairs, special invitees, and fellow flow members. May I now request everybody to please stand for the national anthem.
Jana Gana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
I now invite Flow Chairperson Priya Gazdar, Y-Flow Chairperson Riddhi Jain, our esteemed speaker Mr. Sanjay Garg, Flow Past Chair Rekha Reddy, along with Senior Vice Chair Pratibha Kunda, Ms. Kamlesh Kapoor and Ms. Ruby Sood to join for lamp lighting. The core committee, followed by the executive committee, to join for a picture. Chairperson Priya Gazdar will now deliver her welcome address.
Namaste. Guest speaker, Shri Sanjay Garg, his partner, Ms. Kanupriya Tandon, past chairperson, Rekha Reddy, special invitees, the executive committee, and my dear members. Thank you for joining us here today on the eve of World Saree Day in your splendiferous saris believed to be the world's oldest garment. Ancient Indian texts describe the sari as a celestial gift symbolizing grace, purity, and intellect, with the pallu representing protection and pleats signifying different streams of knowledge. In the Mahabharata, Draupadi's endless sari becomes a testament to unwavering faith, shielding her from dishonor. When Ravana attempted to abduct her, Sita's sari revealed her power, courage, and protection. And as she draped the whole world with her sari, she enlightened all of Sri Lanka, it is believed. Keeping this ancient tradition alive is not just about saving a garment or craft, or about honoring India's spiritual, artistic, and cultural heritage. It's also about empowering rural artisans and connecting the past with the present for a sustainable future. Our guest speaker today, by reimagining heritage weaves with contemporary aesthetics, is ensuring that the sari transcends its traditional roots, emerging as the versatile, elegant statement for every occasion that makes it relevant to women of all sensibilities. Akin to that sentiment, at Flow, it is a collective commitment to our common goal of doing good that drives our endeavors in the positive direction and appeals to women at all levels and ages. In the month gone by, the MSME SS Cell organized a virtual case study session wherein Flow members from across India gained valuable insights into the SME listing process on the NSE Emerge platform. The updated version of the MSME Ready Reckoner was also released just yesterday with the addition of salient points from the recently released Telangana government's MSME policy, to which we have made recommendations, and about 70% of our recommendations are today in the MSME policy that the government has released. And it is kudos to everybody who contributed, and it also talks so much about the power of flow in policy making. 230 students of 3 different colleges have successfully completed the free Tally Pro course, and 120 more will soon start the training. The partner for this, the financial partner for this, is Swastik. We organized the first crop showcase of our year-long agriculture initiative that is empowering 100 rural women from 16 villages with the techniques of modern vegetable farming in the train-the-trainer model so that the benefits reach the larger community. For this, Vision Tech is our partner. We also enabled the training of 225 rural girls, which is actually today 300, in bedside healthcare, and placed all of them in leading hospital chains, including AIG, Rainbow, KIMS, and more. We are continuing to maintain a 100% placement record with government prescribed salary and perks starting at 22,000 rupees per month per person. McLean Skill Academy is the implementation partner for this. The chapter hosted a 30-member business delegation of entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and bureaucrats from Rhineland-Palatinate, Federal Republic of Germany, at the Flow Industrial Park in Sultanpur. We launched a Maggam training workshop for 40 women and girls from the underserved section. This will be a 30-day course which will make them job ready and capable of earning a decent livelihood. Once they are done, we are going to compile their names and numbers and pass it on to all the designers in our fraternity. Please try to hire these women because they've been trained thoroughly for 30 days. At the request of the Handlooms department, the Sakala team is also putting together a portfolio of value-added products from the Golabhama and Mutyampet weaves for greater market relevance. The EduSkill team took 400 graduate students from 2 government women's colleges through the art and skill of public speaking in this last week. In Nourish to Flourish, members learned simple, natural techniques and practices to stay healthy and feeling good inside out. Our own startup incubation workshop, Spark Tank, has seen good enrollments. The sessions will be commencing in January. We had a meet and greet with the members day before yesterday and saw very good attendance. So anyone who has missed applying, please talk to the team that's right here. 42 members attended the 4-day annual retreat to Bhopal and came back enthralled, energized, and enriched, with 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites meeting with royalty and experiential evenings. The sojourn scored high on the exploration and bonding quotients. 13 members attended the interstate meet held recently in Govt and Shillong. Flow Hyderabad received great appreciation for our initiatives and programs at the 3rd governing body meeting held on the occasion. My heartfelt appreciation to the past chairs, core committee, EC heads, and subcommittee members for all your support at all times through the year. Before I end, my grateful thanks to Mr. Sanjay Garg for joining us here this afternoon, despite, I'm sure, a very, very hectic schedule. We're excited to hear from you about your unique journey and your passion to keep the light shining on India's exquisite heritage of weaves, and of course, the central topic of discussion today, the beauteous sari. And so many of us here today are in raw mango saris. And now, over to Shruti Malpani, Retreat and Marquee Events Team Lead, to introduce our guest further.
Namaste, ladies. Today, as we celebrate the timeless elegance and grace of the sari on eve of World Sari Day, it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to introduce someone who has not only championed the sari, but reimagined its very essence for the modern world. Sanjay Garg's journey begins in the village of Mubarakpur, Rajasthan, a humble start that, much like his work, carries whispers of tradition, history, and simplicity. A student of textile design, Sanjay took a rather unexpected road. He went back to the roots. In 2008, in the small town of Chanderi in Madhya Pradesh, he began speaking the language of yarns and looms, breathing new life into century-old weaving traditions. His innovations, subtle yet profound, has since transformed Chanderi into the visual and cultural icon it is today. But of course, Sanjay Garg doesn't stop at Chanderi. From Benarasi to Mashru to Ikat, his explorations have been as vast and diverse as India itself. Through his brand Raw Mango, Sanjay has rewritten the story of Indian handlooms, one weave at a time. With his minimalistic sensibilities, he has proven that the sari whispers elegance, it speaks heritage, and it dances with the future. What makes Sanjay's work stand out is not only just the beauty of the fabric, but the stories woven into them. His focus on sustainability, cultural authenticity has not only revived craft traditions, but also made them globally celebrated. So here we are in the room full of sari lovers, celebrating the drape that never ages and the man who has ensured it stays timeless. Ladies, please welcome Sanjay Garg.
May I request Priya Gazdat to please felicitate the guest.
So ladies and gentlemen, can we hear a loud round of applause for Mr. Sanjay Garg? Ajay, I said gentlemen, so you're also supposed to clap. So lovely to have you here today, sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah. No, you could just, it can go on.
So you will tell her when to change.
Yeah, whenever, it's fine.
Yeah. So sir has brought a nice PPT for us, which is, I had a glimpse of it, sneak peek, and I'm very excited to see what's in store for us.
Yeah,
but,
that can continue in the background. I don't want to bore them, and I can start the conversation, and then
surely,
I can take
surely. So whenever you say.
Yeah.
So let's start with the central theme of today, the topic of the sari. What does it mean to you? And how do you think it has evolved over centuries now? We've been seeing it since ancient times in all the Amar Chitra Kathas and all those mythological pictures that we see. The sari is a central drape. Maybe it's done in many different ways, but it is, of course, the main garment to go to. So, and what's the reason you think is, makes it so enduring in its appeal?
Yeah, I think, first of all, sari to me means a lot of things. It means emotion. It's just a piece of textile. It's identity, culture, piece of heritage, and something to protect your skin. First of all, the first job is that you protect, it's your second skin where you live in. And you decide what you wear, that how do you look at the world, and you want world to look at you. So this is the first communication. You wear a sari or anything, you communicate through that. Why is it important to survive, and why did it survive? I just want to address that. You know, there are example of Sanskrit, there is an example of English or Tamil, and you see the Sanskrit is no more a spoken language. I think what has happened is that there has to be enough room for changes. I think the change is constant thing. And what Oxford does it, as in Oxford University, they do add few words from all over the world languages to English, right? And they, like the bazaar or many other thing, or path and many other thing, many other languages from all over the world adopted in English language. To me, saris survive because we adopted a lot of thing in it. If you really start from ancient time to today, the sari has gone through a lot of changes. And I think is only going to survive if you're open enough. I really mean it. As much as important is tradition, so much is future. I think there is a crucial time where it is going through the changes. And I just tell you that, you know, that you know that very much the blouse and petticoat also a very much extra addition to it, and it wasn't worn traditionally. And also sari came from many different sizes, from 30-inch to 50-inch in the width, and like 3 meter to 9.5 meter, and then it had many hundred drapes, but it did keep continue. There are blouses changes so many times, there's a weave and pattern. I think the question right now is that what does really future generation want, and what is their lifestyle? Do they wear for 24 hours? Do they sleep in it? So there are multiple questions on it. I have no problem. When I say that raw mango is a modern sari, and I really would like to say that is as much as traditional sari. I don't see traditional as a passe. I don't really see as a past. I really want to take it forward. I think to me tradition is future. And that's why if I'm changing a design, but I kept it very puristic, we have not done a pre-stitched sari ever in our raw mango brand. And we have very much, committed to that. And how we take everyone together, weaver and the sari in itself, traditional avatar, and as much I can make it modern.
Thank you. So one thing is established, the sari's appeal is traditional and timeless. And, but however, there are so many interpretations right here in this room. We can see so many interpretations, and each one is prettier than the other. And so I think this 6 yards or 9 yards drape is something that we all go to. It is like comfort food for us. I think the moment, you can never go wrong with a sari. What do you think? And people like Mr. Sanjay Garg here have made it even more accessible and approachable to all of us by, giving it a twist.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so nice, and it has a global appeal today, is what I feel. So what do you think should we do to make our saris and our handloom textiles make a stronger impact on the global market space?
I think as the global, first of all, you know that we are the only country where the most of the handloom exists in the world. I do understand that if we are the most sari wearer, but if world does not wear sari, but I think there are so much of a room to how do we use handloom and how they are able to use for their basic fabric and garment construction. And that is why when in 2014, when there was we were running around 1,000 loom for sari, I was very much sure, people who wear sari traditionally, they have no problem, but how do we do the product diversification? And so many weavers who are trained to weave a sari loom, but we created a special fabric for garment, or let's say home furnishing, for many other things that that consumer power, and then how do we increase the number of customers, and also how do we give more wages to the weavers? How do we have sari for winters or very much summer? We didn't have a sari for winters. I remember doing the merino wool sari that time in Chanderi, and then they did have a business for summer, winter too, because Chanderi is very predominantly known for summer sari. They didn't have a business for winters. So I think design can solve a lot of things.
I think so. So you play with the fabric, the kind of fabric you choose. Does that play a big role?
Everything. I mean, I can go on. So one of the very big, I think, discovery was that there are a lot of experiment we had done about how do you drape that sari, which drapes very beautiful. If all the sari wearers know that they all want very soft drape. They say, oh my God, this is so soft. They're okay with handloom, but I think the biggest problem, what they think is the drape. And we really address because today's women, a lot of them, so see the room is full with new people who wear sari every day, and they maybe do not wear every day, right? So there are people who do not wear every day. If they're wearing a sari first time, the sari need to go through the few washes, so it's get very softened. So that was a big problem. If sari wearer is 50% people are not wearing sari every day, how are they going to wear a handloom sari which is soft on the body? And that's how we introduced the post-production loom, where every single sari is washed in raw mango. So we have a softener and washing technique. Even the color also bleeds, because the color is not dyed for 100 saris, You must notice that it's dyed by every single weaver for every single sari. So now what we have done is we're controlling the bleeding of the color, at the same time the softening sari. I don't know if you have noticed, but our sari drapes much better than the handloom sari, but that can happen. As I said, the post-production loom and softener can do wonders. So not only the loom, design, color, skill set, packaging, branding, store, visual merchandising, but there are many more things to explore with it. I mean, I can keep going. We even made blouses, petticoats. I remember doing those petticoats maybe 8 to 9 years ago, where you won underneath Chanderi sari, but you see the like jhalak of petticoat. It was printed petticoat. It was very well taken.
Yeah.
And the blouses, I don't mind having people wearing a fitted blouse, but at the same time, we introduced just now a brocade lycra blouses. We had woolen blouses. We have, if someone wants to show the skin, go for it. But we have all kind of blouses possible. They was very away from the body. I think we had the most variety of the blouses exist in Raw Mango. I think as I said, the sari need to have little bit of you. Everyone, whoever it is. And I think how is the sari going to survive is, I think, depend on us. As everyone else, earlier, they had figured out their own drape. Like Maratha to Andhra to Rajasthan to Chanderi, everyone had their own drape to it, right? Even the sizes varied. From Assam to Kerala, they had sari into 2 pieces, and people in Orissa, Bengal, Kerala, they did not wear blouses. I think little bit we need your individuality. If someone, now people are wearing sari with the shoes, or maybe, what do you call it, gloves, or no blouses, I think that's what is way to go. I am not trying to say that you change it because that's a trend, but I think if you think it does not speak with you and you think it's outdated or too modern, I think you just need to match your personality. And there shouldn't be, there's no one way of, I'm just saying, the wearing a sari.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this brings me to what you had once said, and I have just put it down. You said that design means that there has to be a relationship between the weaver, the sari, society, and the ideas of sustainability and functionality.
Yeah.
I think a part of that you have already answered,
Yes.
but I think there's a little more, another angle to this that you can give us.
Okay. So again, it's a very long topic, but as Raw Mango we started, we don't, I don't know how many of you are aware, we still do not have any factory system. We do not have some sort of a room where weaver come, and that is why there are so many designs which are copy design are floated in the market, but that's fine, we keep moving on. So they're still the weaver weave at their houses. The reason being, in very hot summer, like where the temperature is 47 degree, or in Kolkata when it's very hot in the day, weaver do not weave that time. They need certain humidity to weave a sari. So they prefer to weave at 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. They sleep through the day and then they weave a bit of in the evening. So it varies. You cannot have a factory timeline for them. Even the skill set, not everyone, let's say Kanjivaram sari or Upada sari or Chanderi sari, brocade sari, not everyone can weave a one kind of sari. There are many stages of skill set. There are people who just can can weave a plain sari, they can have just a pallu design, they can have a small booty, they have all over, they can have a jal. So there are different skill set with different weavers. So we try to learn that and we design depending on that. At the same time, I think the most important is the financial power. We have no one to decide what to do for them. I think the power lies in their hand, and we see the reflection. 5 of their students, the kids have gone to design schools. They have been to NID, there's Institute of Indian School of Craft and Design. They're studying some of not every weaver, but at least 10 of the main weaver have air conditioned their houses now. They have the car. I'm not saying everyone is doing great and there is no room for more improvement. I'm sure there is. And we need to do a lot more than what we have done. But I think we see the changes. And most importantly, the wages have also gone at least 15 times in 15 years. So there are a lot of good things has happened.
Great. So you mean to say the craftsmen, the weavers, they're all now looking at a brighter future?
I think so. On that note, when I interact with the weaver, I think I wouldn't say worst condition, but I think a most problematic condition what I have heard is in actually Andhra Pradesh, or you call it Telangana, where most of the next generation have become computer.
Yes. They have.
right?
Yes.
And they all want to go for computer, and they all want to make a future in IT. And I think that's really worrisome.
So do you think it is a phenomenon of this region and it is not true across India?
Not that much, not as much as in Varanasi. Varanasi was going on power loom, so what happening in this part of the world, they were not even shifting the loom, it's just that next generation is not available. So sometimes it's great that there is a growth, there is a development, there is a penetration of a lot of education, but when the education come and then they decide not to do this. And I don't have an answer to this, that when there's a growth and there is no craft, and that if you really study, you think of any Europe or Scandinavian country, when you think of it, the more they grew, the craft literally gone down. So, and I think this is another question mark on that when we say, oh, sari should be affordable and should be like 1,000, someone says 500. How are we going to convince the next future generation to do that for 3 days, and then you can, go backward and do the costing, how much is getting per day. So that's what I'm saying, is not the reality that handloom has to be that cheap. They will definitely prefer, they will definitely go for computer job, which is minimum salary would be 40 to 50,000.
Right.
So that's the question on us.
So that's the thing. Who are we to say they should not be earning that much?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely agree with you.
So in that kind of a scenario, how are people like you keeping the handloom traditions alive and making people like us aware?
Well, I tell you something, and I really asked that question. See, we already had Haat, there's local Haat, Bazaar, Emporium, many other platforms where we were used to sell saris. And I literally told myself day one that I'm not going to compete with any of them. And that is what I did not see as a handloom as the premium brand. And, and I decided to do that from very much first day of my career. And that's what I'm saying. I think the craft need to be seen as a high-end thing. All over the world, the craft is very expensive. I know a lot of people won't agree with me on this, that, oh, you cannot make everything expensive, we need to wear it. I am not, that's a dilemma, I don't have an answer for it. But thing is that if you want to survive it, there need to be, or maybe there are all different kind of category can exist. There could be a high-end thing, there could be something which is like for 3,000 or under 5,000, there could be many different category. I think how do we, increase the market, how do we make many different connecting point with the consumer, how do we create more different experiences through the handloom, I think is the need of the day.
Sure. So how are you balancing innovation while, you're given your passion for the traditional craft? Because we have seen a lot of experimentation coming from your side.
As I said, see, innovation is just not visual design, all of you. Visual design is whether there is on a cow, or there is I see a female body, or a paisley, or anything. That's just not the innovation. Whenever, when we sell a blouse, it's a big problem because blouse need to be fit to the body. And it's a big problem. It is a big problem that it need to be like a second skin. Sari doesn't need any fitting, but blouse does. Whenever we used to talk about like what can we do to solve it handloom, and that is the reason we have introduced the new fabric which has a lycra in it with the brocade. It's made on handloom, which actually fits on your body like another knit. So it's kind of you creating a knitwear, or like a, with the lycra brocade first time. We don't have so much in this store because we sold out on that. But that's like a new fabric. So I think innovation comes from a question of performance, or as I said, what does really design has to do. It just cannot be a visual play of color or design. Though I understand at Raw Mango we have a lot of visual play of color and design, but that's not it. As I said, first of all, like what you're wearing, Mashru wasn't even a sari. As I'm sure Suraya, I used to go to Suraya Appa and she used to show me a lot of Mashru fabrics, and there was no sari then. I remember she used to feed me, take me to other room and she used to feed me. She was a vegetarian. And that's how I made my very beautiful memories with her. She gave me a carton filled with patterns. She said, I don't know where did she make them. She said, these I have and I take it with you. I took around 40 to 50 small Mashru swatches. And I question myself, if I keep making the fabric, but I don't know what to do with the fabric because fabric is too thick and it cannot be worn as a sari, and even because the weather doesn't allow. And why Mashru is here? Because it came from Mughal. So it came from Middle East through Deccan to Gujarat to here, right?
Yeah, in fact, I was wondering because this is a very Dakkani kind of fabric.
Exactly. So my question to me, question on me was that if I take it forward, if it is a sari, it need to be worn throughout the year. And then the design innovation play a big role. So Mashru just suggests in the border form, but the basic sari is a cotton or silk. So things like that. I think when you really question, not everything what's given to us in a craft or tradition is beautiful, I'm saying. Some things die, and if they die, there is a reason to die, right? I'm a fighter. I'm not saying that I will let it die. I will try my best, and I do that. As I said, is it a lycra blouse or a Mashru sari or a lot of things in Varanasi where we question the visual, play of motif and color. We do question it. Sometimes we make absolutely maximalist saris. Sometimes we minimalize the sari. We have done some, we are working on a Lehriya collection, by the way. And I also like to try my hand, which is not really explored. I really think that I don't need, let's say in Kanjivaram, if Kanjivaram is already flooded in the market and then they have an amazing design. I did not know a sari in Mashru, or let's say brocade lycra or now Lehriya. I always like to try where I'm really needed. I do not like, I'm happy as long as people wear handloom is good. As I said, someone said that, oh, I'm not wearing Romango. I said, I'm happy. I'm happy as long as people buy books today is good. People are all going internet. I think we are, I would say, a small tribe now. And I would not let that to happen. We need to be a bigger tribe. And that's my worry. It doesn't matter what brand, whatever you like to buy, whatever reflects you, your personality, whatever you think it is, it makes you who you are, more confident person, I think one should go for it.
Absolutely, totally agree with that. And from your PPT here and from your, your campaigns, we have seen that your visual thinking is very, very different. So I'm sure here, I was talking to Kanupriya, your partner, this afternoon, and I was just telling her how beautiful your visual merchandising is, or the way you project it is. So how much of that is you?
Yeah, well, that's very much, what happened to me when I was starting my brand.
Can you play that PPT once?
When I was starting my brand and when I wanted to shoot my product, what I realized that every single photo reference was from Western fashion. I really wanted to explore that, how do we photograph our own a piece of textile or fashion and which connect to the consumer. And we are the country of storytelling. If we don't, if we even have to borrow the story from somewhere else, then who else? We are the country of lot of, we call it like storytelling country, right? If we have so much of story to say, and that's what, well, these are different things where I had a presentation shown in London where I'm showing that sari is very much everyday piece of garment, and there are in many different forms, like men wearing a sarong or a lungi, or whether they don't understand, they think sari is like a kimono almost, which is kimono is limited to wearing for a wedding garment, and we wanted to show them like, oh, even look at that, that's a Jain monks, even Mother Teresa. When Mother Teresa came to India, she also chose to wear a sari. Even Gandhi was a barrister. He also decided to wear a dhoti, and dhoti is like a small piece of textile. So this is, we can continue, yeah. What I'm trying to say, Lucas, go back. Look at this beauty. There is a woman getting married in a sari, and there is a Jain monk. When you have nothing, she's still wearing a sari. And that's what sari to us, a contradiction. When people think a sari limited to shadi or a party, and that's what annoys us, the question.
That's what it's become now.
Yeah, exactly, right. I have not seen my mother, though they're from Rajasthan, I've never seen her in anything else. Whether when she say good night or good morning, I've never seen anything else, on her. And that's what it is. And I really want to say that I think sari have really, we say, साड़ी उस दिन खत्म हो जाएगा क्वेश्चन जब आप पूछना बंद कर देंगे कि आपने आज साड़ी क्यों पहना है. When the sari become a new t-shirt, when someone wearing a t-shirt or a trouser, you don't ask what's happening. When now people have started asking, oh, you're wearing a sari, what's special today? Yeah. So this is again a Gandhi, as I said, is kind of wearing a sari in a dhoti form, and that's Indira Gandhi, and it's become a symbol of power too. All, yeah. This is in Bhutan, Bhutanese garment, that's Nepal. Is not, what we're trying to say is not only Indian garment, is a South Asian garment.
So do you think the origin is from India only?
Yeah, it is, but it's a saying that this spatial navy drape may be inspired from Greek tradition too. They wear a tango, we call it?
Toga.
Toga, yeah. So I think maybe there is some intermingle. Of course they wear sari, but maybe not this drape.
Okay.
That's Sri Lanka. They're all wearing actually raw mango. As you know, there are different drapes. I was part of this, all the different documentation on the sari drape. As you can see, sari with the pocket, split at the back. That actually I've seen them in Chanderi, the right to second photo, that's how they wear it. Look at the third one. They didn't wear anything on the top. They just wore this and worked in a farm.
Which one is that?
The center one.
Center one, okay.
So this is one of the raw mango campaign. After doing all the beautiful things, and I really questioned like, what is really beauty? What is between beauty and ugly? And that was this campaign and got a birth. I really wanted to create something which is in between human and divine, ghostly and human, beauty and, as I said, ugly, pretty, not pretty, floral geometry, arid, like there's no color, this color, so almost contrast. And I thought it's a very, very, very powerful statement to say, and this photo become a sari show, what was that, sari show in London, and it's become on the poster. Actually, they sold this poster for the London show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It has that.
The very recently show happened in London around the sari.
It does have that very stark, very different quality. It's striking.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take your eyes away from it.
Even the face also have an interesting story. When Britishers came to India, they thought our god and goddesses are like almost like Bhuta. They didn't understand because their god and goddesses are very pretty looking. They didn't accept it. They wrote one nasty things about how did our Kali or goddesses looked.
Yeah.
They were all black. Actually, this worshipping a white marble happened very late to us. All our idol worship was mainly in the local stone, whether sandstone or granite or any of kind of stone. The marble came to us very late. And so this, the beauty, I literally made it red and it's kind of dedicated to goddess. I have a beautiful statue from Bengal in 16th century. You remember those eyes, they put it in the end of it. When they say when you put in those eyes, when the soul has penetrated to the idol,
that's
right?
literally the last thing that
the last thing, and that's what those eyes, we literally made it by hand, and we fired them at studio, and we put those eyes. So it's a lot of things. It looks very modern at the same time, a provocation, because it's a very, how do I say, they just think sari is just a pretty garment. They just think it's a weak, it's like a woman, family. It is everything. It is that and this. And that's the idea. We can move to next. This was a contemporary dance performance. Again, done with raw mango. This is a moomal. So why did I do this? Moomal was actually a princess from Rajasthan, and I come from Rajasthan. What was I annoyed with the wedding and the way other designer and the film have shown in Rajasthan, then everyone get married on 3 elephant and 5 horses. And every single person is Maharaja. And the Maharaja food and everyone is wearing turban. I was pretty annoyed, and that's what I chose, this smallest Haveli in Sekhavati. I said not everyone is like that. It's really touristy image of us. Not everyone is a Maharaja. We have normal people. We have small Havelis. Weddings are very intimate. And I think this was dedicated to that. It was dedicated to my heritage with no horses and elephant, and weddings are done by, community, like in a small village.
I think to have intimate weddings, now people are running away to destinations.
Yeah. Next one. This one again, this was shot at one of the friend's house, and as I did show you the photo of Indira Gandhi,
Right.
like she was in office, and here I very deliberately chose a drop of library, because every sari become again, as I said, is like the birthday or celebration or a wedding and this and that. I really wanted to, so it's like a working woman. You may not notice it. By the way, you're wearing the same sari, I think, in a different color. But the idea was that. Idea was to change, show in a different light. The idea was that it's a working woman sari. And I've been told by so many people who are in government or private offices, when I want everyone to be heard, I wear a sari. When I'm heading a chair a meeting, you know. I've heard it so many times, ambassadors or offices or a doctor. And we have such a big clientele of that, people who are professionals who wear sari. So many artists who, I don't have her photo, but they only paint when they wear sari. I mean, one can question that, but no one to question their choices of wearing it. But I'm just saying, people do find different meaning in different things.
But it is unquestionably the one garment you can never go wrong with. You can never go wrong with a sari, whichever sari it is.
Even the boy, by the way, so this is another one, by the way. We don't have a winter here so much, but this is for Delhi. We had a collection called Jada. Jada means literally winter.
This is the height of winter for us.
This is the height of the winter, okay. Because again, the sari, if you remember, the sari was only worn with shawls or cardigans. And I've seen my mother figuring out like, what do we wear? Because cardigans are small. And I really wanted to design jackets which could be worn over the saris. We literally had worked on multiple collection which could have, you know, because they had a neck, I made a neck like a deep V, so it has a room for a pallu.
Right.
You know, all that I needed to be part of the design of the garment if you're wearing with the sari. So we actually pretty much known for the jackets in Delhi and Mumbai. There are some here, but I love that because it's beautiful with sari and jackets. Of course, there are shawls, but there are many variety of jackets can be worn too. Can we move on to next one? This is Cloud People, and we shot it at Cherrapunji. Again, how the girl should sit, you know. They wear in a particular way, and this is again my provocation. I asked them to sit in the way they want to sit. And that also, I was, again, people thinking that I'm selling a sari, but I was not selling a sari here. The idea was that the people and the way the fashion model was shown, I was pretty annoyed with it. They're pretty annoyed the way it's been represented in every single imagery. So here the 4 models were very much, I said, can you sit the way you actually makes you most comfortable? And the models are from local, they were from Meghalaya and Shillong, and that's how they shot, and we shot it. Next one. That's a Chiki Sarkar. She run Penguin book publishing house. This is a very, very old shoot, 2008 or something. She wore it. Actually, I saw her the first one. She was wearing a sari without the blouse when Prince Charles came, and I was invited for the dinner. She was in Jodhpur, and she just came from London, and she was wearing a white chicken sari. I was like, what is this? I cannot forget that. I was like, I have never seen someone so modern, so elegant, and so young. She wore it exactly like that, a chicken sari. And then, of course, I invited for the shoot next campaign.
I think we've come to the end of the presentation.
Perfect.
So very beautifully, you've taken us through your thought process, which is very important for us to understand, because when we walk into a store that, you know, stocks raw.
Does not have any makeup, if you see. Like that also, I have said that 100 times. Even the models, what we have, the jewelry, everything is a question. I wanted to really decide that there will be no visual merchandising in the store. Everything, to me, is a very Western concept. We don't have any visual display if you go to our store. We had what people sing, what they eat, and how do they party. I wanted to influence everything. And that is why we actually also launched a music album on Romango 10th anniversary. We have this Romango art collaboration with Art Fair where we throw this big party. all the youth and all, whoever interested in design and music, they're welcome, and we play all kind of music.
Very nice. I mean, that's a very different thought, and you have executed it also to perfection. I think we were listening to it earlier on in the day, yes. So you've engaged with textile clusters in Madhya Pradesh, in Uttar Pradesh, in West Bengal, in Gujarat. Do you have any plans to explore what we have in
I
Telangana?
already have explored. The collection is coming. I have work in Ikat right now, and it's come out very, very beautiful. I am very excited to share with you very soon.
We have so much more beyond Ikat. Nobody is exploring all those.
I take it. I take it.
I would really
well,
urge you all
I
to
came
explore
first
those.
to Upada. I remember my first choice was Upada then. I think, but the problem was that they saw me as an outsider, and then we were working for someone else, and they did not work for us.
Oh.
So there was a language barrier happened, and then there's other sari.
We would be
Gadwal.
happy to be your
I had done a
interpreters.
small Gadwal collection of saris earlier. They were all sold in actually in Delhi. Now it's Ikat. But I would love to suggest me something, and I would love to work.
Ladies, I think we have so many designers here, so many people working with weaves here. I would love to ask them to, come and talk to you if it's okay.
Even
with you.
Upada is great, and wherever you think is needed, there's a design intervention. I think I would love to pick up something which is the most ignored, according to you.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
we'd be very happy to collaborate on
Not
that.
something like if it's already selling and people are aware, it's fine. The job is done. I think something where you think the design is needed, the market is needed, something like that, I should take it.
We ourselves are working with the Golabhama, Siddipet cluster we call it, where we have Golabhama, we have Mutyampet. And earlier on in our presentation, if you see, we had tried to do different things, basically to make it appeal to the younger generation. And even people like us who really are not aware of so much of creativity that's around us. So definitely we would like to take you up on your offer, and we have many here who can do that and help you out there. So, are you looking at extending this philosophy of yours into areas beyond textiles?
Yes, the answer is yes. I think our next store is in Kolkata, and we have already started working on it, and after that maybe in Ahmedabad. And we are simultaneously working on different things. As I said, we have working with the music, we are working with objects. We did objects for Ramango 10th year. We are launching few more objects for the next year, but other than that, I would love to do it actually. But I don't think so that I have time right now. I think I really have to create system. I think what problem has been with any single brand in India, that anything with handloom either has to be very basic level, but there's not enough system or design and quality control. I think I've really taken this as a challenge, that how do you create this a premium brand which has a quality control. I really want to work on system, because you must have heard so many brands are sold to so many industrialists, and which is great for them. I think I really like to do things on my feet at the moment as much I can do. I think I really want to bring system, quality, design, everything very much in a place for next 1 or 2 years, and then maybe I'm going to think of venture out something.
So if I had to ask you something very technical, what do you prefer, a standalone store or being available in a multi-designer store?
See, of course, I'm sure everyone will prefer the standalone store, but all I'm trying to say is that if one cannot sustain it, it's fine. You can start with multi-designer. I don't think so there's anything wrong with it. I think anything is wrong is you don't fit in the shoe, then it's going to bite you. Same, very simple. I think one should take a decision thinking of their own situation. At the same time, one can even dream big too. I'm not saying that. I also was there at somewhere in the store, multi-designer store in Hyderabad, but I always wanted to have a store. I waited for 3 years because I wanted a building where it's own kind, And we got this building which is like a mid-century building. We have parking, we have a garden. Every raw mango store has a garden. And I said, I'm not going to open my store in a mall with any offer. And that's the thing that's what I committed to myself. So it's person to person, I think. However they want it to be and but that was about me. I wanted a garden, I wanted a parking, I wanted something to tell the story, but it's not very traditional looking building. Actually, it's very modern building, but that's about it.
I understand from our conversation that you're very much rooted, grounded, and the weavers are at the central to whatever you do and you think and your passion is. So during COVID or after that, how did you show your compassion towards the weavers who maybe would have lost their livelihood, and how are you encouraging them to keep going?
Okay, I have an answer. So first of all, fortunately, if you have noticed us, that our brand did not suffer as much. I don't know who suffered, but if they have suffered according to you, the reason was people have marketed everything as in a wedding thing, like a wedding sarees and heavy sarees. And fortunately, we had sarees, we still have sarees from 4,000 to 1.25 lakh. And maximum 40 to 50% things are under 40. So that actually played, it wasn't a very thoughtful decision, but that played for our, sab kuch achhe ke liye hua. In the COVID time, people have very small weddings, very small gathering, and people did continue. Of course, it did suffer, but it did not die for us, which was amazing. I did not know that power. I did not know that power, that everything was made for parties and weddings, And that worked for us. That worked for us. And after, of course, COVID, they didn't need anything. The flooded, it was kind of open, and then that was like the best year of ever after COVID. The next year, revenge buy. They call it revenge buy. So revenge buying happened. So that wasn't taken care of. They didn't even need my help. They didn't even have enough loom to produce things. So that revenge year, that is after COVID is fine. During the COVID, people had a lot of problem, as I said.
Yeah.
I think we did not shut anything, and we, as people were buying all over, and also they were buying lighter sarees than heavier sarees, because intimate weddings, intimate birthdays, or this and that, those still continued.
So you mean to say the weavers and all were well taken care of, and they
Very much. I mean, they're still there. We don't have a single loom which has gone down and they've not come back after COVID. At least in our case, no.
Great. I think that's wonderful and deserves a clap.
Yeah.
I mean, for a brand to keep going through that, the 2 years, it was a very, very crucial phase for everybody.
It did affect it during those 2 years, what I'm saying, but after that, everything is back to square.
In terms of reviving our ancient motifs, our, the weaves themselves, the fabrics, the kind of tools we use, where do we stand today? Is there a lot of experimentation that's happening beyond your brand also? What do you think in the entire fraternity, how is it happening?
I mean, there are a lot of experimentation happening. My only worry is that we only wear sari till here and also wear one drape. I think that is really giving me attention. I want people to explore a bit more, because if you're wearing this kind, there is a one kind, because we have like hundreds of wearing saris, and hundreds is a way of different pattern and different width and length. Like no one wear a nawari or mekhula chadar or anymore. I think that's all I'm saying. Again, that's not even raw mango. My worry is not my brand. My worry is that how do you able to survive if you really like it, this piece of textile or identity. I think we need to be a bit more experimental, not what I sell or what anyone sell. Whatever what you have, I think one should play with it.
So globally, how do you see the sari making a splash?
No, sari, well, we globally, if you want to ask me, as you know, we are a lot in number, and that's how we have pop-ups every year, and we do it very well. See, Indians wear saris, but I don't think so it's fair to think that even whether African or American are going to wear saris. What they can wear, different forms of sari.
Correct.
Which is shawl or a stole, is somewhat is a form of a piece of a sari, right? And as I said, if we create those beautiful handloom textile, I think what we need to concentrate that the best ikat or best gadwal or best upada only should happen this part of the world. And more than that, are we able to, can we produce or can we become a producer for the world, like become the biggest producer for handloom for the world? If we maintain that, then we have nothing to worry. I think we need to maintain quality and also even flexibility for design, no?
So where do we stand today? I mean, to a layman,
I mean,
it
still
looks
we
like
have handloom, but no, I think lot can be done on that for sure. A lot can, I think lot more can be done to that.
So
I don't think so. There's there's so much of handloom which we able to, because timeline doesn't matches. For our saris we made for winter is coming in summer, and you create it for monsoon is coming now for 2 years. You know, I'm working every time 4 to 5 different collection. I don't know which one going to complete first. There's so much of a problem. There's so much of problem with timeline, and timeline is not understood by viewer, and that's what comes to end of it, you know, because sometimes there's electrical problem, there's a flood happen, and there's a water crisis, and then किसी की भैंस मर गया, किसी की शादी है, किसी के कुछ हो गया, you know, so many things, and that's what it is. If you do not grow in totality as the whole country, and this is going to bite you back, you know, and that's what happens.
So if you want to see a proliferation of handlooms and weaves, how much do you think the government should do or is doing?
Well, it's a difficult, you know the answer.
We're supposed to have had Ms. Shailaja today, but she couldn't make it.
Everyone knows, okay, I do not take a single penny from government, and I decided not to take any project for the government. Reason being, I don't know, they have somehow, they say that, but they have a very different agendas. I'm not saying particular government, all the government looks like that, you know. I don't know what they want. I mean, there are so much of money have spent on weaver and farming that I don't know, like every weaver can have a palaces or something, but I don't know where is it going. So I don't have an answer to that already. I don't really need anything from the government. Honestly, I do not even look for that. I think we look from among us. If we are more aware, how is it made, how is it done, and what is sari, what are they weaving. And that's how I think India is almost, you know, we just take care of ourselves, right? How much are we dependent on the governments in this country?
We're not, but in terms of scale, I was just wondering if their intervention will help.
Well, first of all, you know, all the silk is coming from China, and they decide what the price they have to sell. Mm-hmm. So if they can actually work on innovation in terms of yarn, machine, electricity, water for dyeing, and things like that. And of course, then create awareness. I've been saying that is very important that they teach children from like a primary standard. They need to teach it from 5th or 4th standard about handloom. We do not know. If people want to buy handloom, they buy handloom, but what they don't know what's the difference between kadwa and fikwa, what is the difference between merino or pashmina wool. We're still in the room, how many people understand what is this real, what's double ikat or single ikat, what is Udiya ikat, Gujarat ikat, or Andhra ikat, let's say. So these are the questions, I think. If we had them in the education, very preliminary, one chapter also, I think will be much more aware audience.
So is it not people like you who can make it happen, who can...
I am doing my bit, but...
introduction into the textbooks and all. I think if you represent to the government or people like you can do it.
I have said few times actually. I have said few times. But you have to be in the board, and then you keep going to the board and then nothing happen and you are busy. You know what I'm saying? I have to take care of my bread and butter and my weaver and my team and staff. So you just want to maximize your time, honestly. So you just want to work as much you can work and not run behind them, because I have to earn my own bread and butter. And I emphasize is that, as I said, like I'm not looking for any dependency from anyone. I appreciate what they're doing, everyone, I mean, whatever they're doing, whatever they can do, but I believe in me, and I think I will bring the change. That's how I think.
Right. So my last question before I open to the audience, because I know there are many questions waiting for you, was something along those lines to make our younger generation believe in the importance, in also the very comfort of wearing a sari. Like most of us here who've worn it today, we don't feel it's uncomfortable. It's only that we feel maybe we won't last the whole day in a sari and keep it the way it should stay looking. That is the one thing that holds us back. So how do we make the younger generation, is there something that you're doing?
Everyone remember those saris of the crushed linen, the crushed dhoti that become a look if cotton is crushed? So kind of like that, I think we need to be acceptance of that. If it's little crushes, it's okay. I think I love that when the sari takes shape of your body, of a cotton sari. I think I like that about it. I think it's about, again, how do you see aesthetic? When sari is absolutely crisp, is that only a nice sari? Or sari can be tied down around your waist, that's a sari. Or sari without the blouse or without unfitted blouse or away from the body. I think question lies on us. I think we need to create awareness, or appreciation. How do we more appreciative of different aesthetics? And what does really aesthetic means? I think should be a one lecture on just aesthetics. An aesthetic could be any. How do you enjoy a painting to a photo or a flower or a nature or a sari or a food? Or I think that'll be a great thing. It isn't like a very general thing, but very important.
It is, and so since you brought up the topic of aesthetic, and because I did see another version of it on the screen, can you describe what went through your mind when you made this?
Well, it's
Something,
just,
right?
there was, okay, when I was student of design student, I always thought, I thought whenever, if you see any celebrity, when they wear a Western outfit, it's very minimal. When they wore a sari, they wore everything with a sari. I said, where is the reference coming? Why is sari is so tagged to maximalize? I always wanted to see sari minimal because whenever they thought of sari, they thought of sari was a very maximal garment. They wore a lot of jewelry. I'm not again and again, I said it 100 times, it's not a problem, but every time if you see a sari, I see a sari, a very intelligent, very minimal, very tasteful a garment. And that's how, this sari has no booty. And this sari doesn't have a brocade or anything. I wanted to do a sari without jari. I wanted to do a sari in a gray because I was known for color, but at the same time when you ask me lime green, then I go for a gray. I like different contrast, contradiction in life, provocation. I wanted to do something with the stripe, which is very unusual colors, like a charcoal, black, gray, things like that. So this amalgamation of many thoughts.
So that's why you chose
Yeah,
Mashru
these
here.
you call it a modern color or you call it Indian color, but I put it in a place where it doesn't have any floral or any bird or animal or anything, and didn't have a jari actually.
So how much of training goes, how much of time do you put into training your weavers to do
design,
something like this?
you need to understand the technique and skill set of them. We take 2.5 years to design one collection, and one collection has around 10 to 12 designs. Okay. 10 to 12 designers take 8 months, then sampling happen, then production happen, then weaver makes it. It's like a process.
So it's 2.5 years from one collection to another.
That's right. But there's then multiple collection
Right.
you are continue working on.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Sanjay. And now let's open the floor to questions.
The floor is now open for question and answers. Please keep your questions precise and one question per person, please.
Oh God. Okay. When you think of a name, raw mango, when you think of a tamarind, you think of a taste. That's how I thought raw mango. When you think of a raw mango, think of a taste. And also to me, Shahi, we Indian did not have a black. We had a color called Shahi, which is like ink color. To me, it was more beautiful than black because after black, it dies. Meaning after black, it ends, like when mango is ripe, is done. I think the raw mango is more beautiful. The beauty of imperfection, there's always a room. There's always a room for improvement, That's what it is. It's done not by master craftsmen, it's done by raw hand. There is a beauty, we appreciate it because it's a lot of problem, there are a lot of flaws in a handloom material. And that's what makes it more human and beautiful, right? And these were the thoughts behind it. When you think of raw mango, don't you think of a taste and you think of India first? Everyone has a childhood memories when we ate raw mangoes.
Yeah.
Whether it's Rajasthan or Andhra or Kerala or anywhere.
Absolutely.
Hello, Sanjay. That was quite enlightening talk. This is Neetu Surana. So,
hello, sorry.
Yeah, hi. So my question is, what's the best way, according to you, to preserve and care for our treasured handloom, cotton and silks, so we can pass on that precious legacy to our daughters?
First of all, it depends on what it is. You all did say that this cotton, if it's a thick cotton, nothing can happen, but if it's a very fragile cotton or it's organza or a silk, I think the best way to preserve is to put in a roll. And I'm sure you must have heard of that, like a round stick. You wrap it because the minute it creases, it can from the fold, it can go off. I think the best way is to put it on the roll and you put it in a textile bag, and that's what is the best way to do it.
And for the silks?
Sorry?
Silk.
Also. Actually, that's
Silk.
any kind of textile, any kind of delicate textile you can keep this way. Nothing can happen for 100 or 200 years. I mean, if in the museum, that's how they keep saris. Or that you have like a 5.5 meter long, that's not possible, I think, for in a house. I think the best way is to roll it up.
Roll
and
it
keep
and up. Thank you.
But nowadays we all have like hundreds of saris. I have actually moved from my wardrobe to my son's wardrobe to my mother-in-law's house also. So how do we store like that? I mean, maybe we pick and choose which are the most precious ones.
Okay, so I think answer to that is, already you have an answer. When you recently buying, in like last decade, nothing will happen. When you think old ones, you keep it that way. Newer ones, you don't have to keep. Not everything you have to keep this way. And you need to give away some.
We do, but the heart bleeds at some point. I'm like, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjay. Good seeing you here today. Here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
My name is Lakshmi Devi Neni. I came from all the way New Jersey, USA.
Oh, thank you
I
so
live
much.
here, and it's so good to see you here. I go in New York streets with my sari.
Amazing.
I work for a law firm there, and I love showing up my culture. And
Thank you.
You know, New York City is, I'm so honored and happy to share this with all my among ladies here. Working in New York City, you know, we all look forward for that. And for me, working in New York City, showing up my culture was a blessing. So, coming to Raw Mango, I have a passion of collecting every kind of sari, where I finished most of them at that time the Raw Mango arrived. So I feel like, okay, so light, so simple, no zaris, not much colors. As you said, the Raw Mango helped me to create for the next generation saris. As rightly you mentioned, it's a starting point to go to the ripe stage. So thank you for coming for our next generations with a great idea. And we are looking forward to see you, and I'm humbled to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Honored
sir.
to see you, yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah, now.
Hi, this is Sarvamangala. I have a brand of saris and ethnic wear for men by the name Anagha. I wanted to understand what drew you to saris especially.
Oh God, you know, I wanted to answer that. So when you asked for the national anthem, I almost had moisture in my eyes. I always ask, being a designer, what is my role in national building, if you ask me. If I'm only got to do this, then how do I do it best? If you are a singer, how do you do this? I mean, you know this, and what do you do with? I mean, whether you are a army, right? And country, to have a healthy nation, we need lot of contribution from every single field, right? Whether it's a farmer or weaver. To me, this is what I contribute to it. So to me, when I was a design student, my parents didn't want me to become designer at all. No, they didn't support me that time. They said, how are you going to earn your bread and butter? Who become a designer? Everyone wanted to again CA or business, you know. And when I become a designer, it's become a thing that how do I create awareness, like how can be more entrepreneur in design? And B, what stuck to me, how can design, what is the role of design for, you know, community building, or how can design solve something? And I remember seeing a sari when government sent me, oh, that was the only project I did to Chanderi, where I realized that sari was in a dying condition. And Chanderi was only sold for 3,500. There was not enough, and whatever they knew, they used to put it one single sari. मतलब बॉर्डर है, चिड़िया है, पल्ला है, ऑल ओवर है, जाल है, झमका है, सारे रंग है, एक साड़ी, तो एक तरह की चीज, you know. So definitely it's like a radio. Can you make a radio run? And now you see it. You remember all of you remember how the radio didn't have connection. Now you run the radio in a running car and it's perfect. And that's how it happened to me. How can design solve that? And to me, I just took it to my pride, you know.
And where do you see the sari 20 years from now, or probably 25 years from now?
It will change, but it will never die, for sure. All I'm trying to say, if you're trying to hold it, this is the only way, then it's a problem. I think we need to come with changes. And having said that, I am not for a change where I'm not saying pre-stitch saree or anything like that. I don't do it. I just don't do it. I will not do it. I am not saying that, but at the same time, there are enough of room, as I said, there are different story you can tell. You can wear it many different styles. You can wear it uncha, lamba, chota, in 2 pieces, 3 pieces, drapes, jacket, or shoes, or t-shirt, or heel, I don't care, but as long as you wear sari, and as long make you comfortable, and as long you make you young or old, however you want to look classic, or someone you're ready for a go wedding, or for a someone if you want to wear for a, like a mini skirt, wear a like smaller sari and go, please, good for you, go and dance.
And one last question, who has been your inspiration?
Well, inspiration, I have like Indira Gandhi though. I mean, not really inspiration. I mean, come from a very, very humble background. We had no one from 13th generation ever shifted from anywhere from my village to a city. I had not seen a sea or a lake till 21, so I have hardly traveled then. And I studied in a government school that way. So we were very much aware, we had a very broad-minded, my parents are amazing. I mean, I have compared with when you discuss with all of your friends and you compare how are they, different and what kind of freedom they have given, whether in LA or Sri Lanka or in Indonesia, I think I find them the best. They studied till 8 to 10 standard, but they have been my best parents. Yeah, so because of their support, I could do what I had done.
Any more questions? May I now request Senior Vice Chairperson Pratibha Kunda to deliver her vote of thanks.
Hello, a very good evening to everyone. What an incredible evening this has been. A sari isn't just an attire. It's a woman's timeless companion, draped in her dreams and woven with her wishes, and a journey through the threads of heritage, craftsmanship, and sustainability. On behalf of Hyderabad, Flow Hyderabad, and our dynamic chairperson, Priya Gazdar, I want to thank each one of you for being part of this truly special event. And Mr. Sanjay Garg has transformed raw mango into more than just a brand, establishing it as a mark of excellence, a benchmark in the world of fashion and textiles. You've taken us beyond the fabric, showing us how tradition can be a catalyst for contemporary style and sustainability. Raw mango isn't just about saris, it's about stories, and you've told them beautifully. I would like to thank our past chairs for their unwavering support. Your legacy is the cornerstone of Flow's success, and we are so fortunate to have your wisdom guiding us forward. Now let's turn our attention to those who made today possible. Our bronze sponsor, Krishna Jewelers, Pearls and Gems. Thank you for adding that extra sparkle to our evening. And let's not forget the magnificent Leela Hotels for providing us with such a stunning venue, truly a setting as grand as the sari itself. A massive round of applause for our events team who have worked with clockwise precision and boundless creativity to make every detail perfect. You've turned this vision into a spectacular reality. And of course, what's an event without a little mingling? Don't rush off, just let our high tea is ready and waiting. So grab a cup, indulge in a treat or two, and keep the conversations flowing. Thank you all once again for joining us today. Let's continue to celebrate the richness of our heritage, the creativity of our artisans, and the boundless possibilities of the sari. Here's to more inspiring moments together. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
I wanted to just thank the events team. I think this time we've given them a really tough task because every time we are shifting the venue. I've counted 8 venues in this 8 months. So a big round of applause to the events team. Can you please stand up in your places? Today we had just the 2 of them and a totally bare harmony.
Yeah.
Renu is also here.
Yes.
I saw the 2 of you.
Yeah.
And this is an incredible task because every time there is a challenge. And today we definitely had a challenge. I'm not going to talk about it. When I walked in at 1 o'clock, nothing was set up. But then they just simply made it happen. And thank you, girls. Thank you so much. And I've had a lot of help from my retreat and marquee events team head, Shruti, who's actually been instrumental in connecting us with Mr. Sanjay and Kanupriya and Salman, who's not here, but very helpful. Thank you so much. And of course, what can we do without the core and the finance teams? Everybody, I mean, just thank you so much. And this is coming from the heart because we are closing the calendar year. So, very, very happy New Year. We will meet after the New Year. But before that, please indulge. There's an entirely new menu that's been curated for you. Please indulge. Thank you.